Let me read to you a passage from the 15th chapter of St. John's Gospel, verses 9 to 17. It's the Gospel for the feast of St. Matthias, the Apostle, on May the 14th. St. John writes, Jesus said to his disciples, "As the Father loves me, so I also love you. Remain in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in his love. I have told you this so that my joy might be in you and your joy might be complete. This is my commandment: love one another as I love you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. I no longer call you slaves, because a slave does not know what his master is doing. I have called you friends, because I have told you everything I have heard from my Father. It was not you who chose me, but I who chose you, and appointed you to go and bear fruit that will remain, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name he may give you. This I command you, love one another." That's from John chapter 15, verse 9 to 17. We are led to think of Christ's friendship. It is a great advance in education at both secondary and tertiary levels that there is so much study of the religions of mankind. There is plenty of opportunity to study Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, and other religions, including those of the various indigenous peoples of the world, such as in Africa, Melanesia, Australia, and the Americas. This study assists in the understanding of man, his culture and society, and it promotes respect for the conscience of others. It also helps to appreciate the voice of mankind, that there is an absolute, giving a high meaning to life and calling man to worship. Because of the range of conflicting positions among religions, there is a danger too that needs to be recognized by both the student and the educator. It is that of gradually and silently assuming that in religion there is no absolutely objective truth, nor is there objective error. Religious truth is simply, one can come to assume, whatever each person happens to be convinced of, and so one religion is as good as another in terms of its truth and saving effectiveness. The philosophical unsoundness of this ought to be clear, but we are speaking here of assumptions, and assumptions can be hidden from view. On the other hand, for the Christian, a knowledge of other religions can help to throw into strong relief the distinctive character of Christ, his teaching, and the divine religion he revealed. Well, now, let us notice what I think is a very distinctive feature of Christianity evident in our gospel passage that I read from John chapter 15, verse 9 to 17. While Buddha, Muhammad, Zoroaster, and other great founders continue to have their many disciples down through the centuries, as far as I am aware, their adherents do not regard themselves as having been personally chosen by the unseen founder himself to follow him and to be personally loved by him day by day in an intimate friendship. But that is exactly what happens in the Christian religion. What Christ says to his disciples in our gospel text that I read, the church has always understood to apply to each of Christ's faithful from age to age everywhere. Let us listen to Christ's words, knowing that they are directed to each of us who are his disciples and members of the church which he founded on the apostles. As the Father loves me, so I also love you. Remain in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in his love. The Christian is not just an adherent to the doctrine and the commandments of Christ, even though this is essential if he is to be Christ's disciple and friend. No, the Christian is one who abides in the loving friendship of Christ. Christ is his living friend. The Christian is not just one who submits to the doctrine of Christ, as might a totally loyal servant or even a slave. He has been chosen by Christ to be his friend who shares his life. I no longer call you slaves, because a slave does not know what his master is doing. I have called you friends, because I have told you everything I have heard from my Father. It was not you who chose me, but I who chose you, and appointed you to go and bear fruit that will remain. John chapter 15, verse 9 to 17. Though the Christian lives some 2,000 years after the life and death and resurrection of his Master, he knows that the Master lives in all his human and divine reality. This living Jesus has chosen and invited him to be his friend, and to share with him the work of saving not only himself, but the world. Just as the disciples to whom our Lord spoke the words of our gospel today were chosen by him to be his friends, and to enter with him into the work he had been given to do, so the Christian now and in every age knows that the living Jesus has likewise chosen him and continues to choose him. The Christian religion is above all a personal relationship with one who is living and ever so near, though unseen. The founder and sustainer of the Christian religion is himself the object of that religion. He does not just point to God as did Zoroaster, Mohammed, and Buddha, however they conceived and imagined him. No, he himself is God. He is the way to the Father, the truth about God, and the life of God. He has chosen us at our baptism to be his personal friend. Let us live out our lives in a way worthy of and consistent with this marvelous friendship.